Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the new aegis challenge. We're going to talk about how many points you actually need to get everything in the carnival. And speaking of the carnival, you guys can see that we do have about 2,000 rubies. You have to get up to 18,000 points in order to acquire everything in here. Obviously we still have the shards, but I'm really happy that they have these shards in here as well, because we do have the EX generic memory, and this is going to be the goal for a lot of people. Now we are really at a day and age in King of Fighter All-Star where EX characters just aren't as good as what they were, because now we have the introduction of UA characters, and we've had them for a little bit of time now, and we're finding out that, obviously we're going to want the UE characters because they can actually get to level 90. We can actually use them in the plug-in plans. We can use them in Tower Evolutions. They're going to be able to go all the way to the top because they can actually reach that level 90 and get all those overall points, whereas EX characters cannot. It doesn't mean that EX characters aren't good. I'm going to show you guys today that an EX character can get the score, but it is going to be with a little help from a UE character. But I think even without a UE character, maybe I'll try another video, they could still get it done. But even if you're not able to get these rewards, guys, and I know that this isn't what you want to hear, it's not a big deal. There's really nothing in here that special. These shards here just, progress your characters a little further, and that's if you have them at A5. So if you don't have them at 5, unless you're going to have some of them. Some of these characters you might have at A5. We had Ash, we had Magaki from back in the day. We had, Psyche, who's an absolute god in the Aegis challenge, and I'll show that in another video. But, you have the new characters, Vice and Mature, and then obviously Shenwu and Elizabeth. So if you have any of these characters at A5, or Kusanagi or Maki, then, you might want this to progress them a little further, although some of you might already have some of those characters already at A90. Or at A9, so it probably won't be a big deal. However, this is kind of the good thing and the bad thing about these carnivals is that, we really don't need any of these rewards for the most part, because the EX characters just aren't as good as what they used to be. But it is nice to get some rubies. It is nice to get these shards to progress our characters a little bit further. So if you're not able to do this, I don't think it's really a big deal. But if you are able to do this, you really should, because you can get some free rewards out of the deal. Now, as far as the Aegis challenge is concerned, you can see that we have purple, yellow, and green, right? So you're going to need yellow, red, and green fighters in order to have the advantage against all these colors. And if you take a look at the access, you can see all the characters that are available. Now, I do have boost points on Mature, Vice, Maki, Ash, Lady Guinness, who's actually very good in this thing, and Shazura. I went with these characters because really in my roster, they're the best that I had. They're the most leveled up, and that's just the way I wanted to go. And I definitely wanted to max out the two characters that are in the current banner, which isn't going to be here for very much longer, which I do want to rant about maybe in another video, but I digress. Let's get back to the video at hand. So whenever you jump in here, guys, you're going to be able to go into the strategy info, and they'll tell you about the colors that are going to be in here, which we've already seen, right? You're going to start off with yellow. Yellow's going to have the advantage in the very beginning. So if you have a yellow fighter, guys, like Psyche, the UE Psyche, he is really good in this. It's honestly easy to get the points, to get all the rewards, or at least that EX generic memory out here. It's pretty simple with the guy. But if you scroll down, guys, you see that this boss is immune to all of the CC effects, and having characters with the advantage is really going to make a big difference in your damage, right? And then, of course, the boss periodically summons monsters and chooses a fighter to cast Colossal Lightning on the team. Now, the Colossal Lightning is this big lightning beam that the boss will shoot down on top of you, but you can actually stay away from the center of the screen, get away to the far left or the far right, and you can actually avoid getting hit, or you can just guard whenever it comes down. So if you do one of those three things, go all the way to the left or all the way to the right, or guard when it comes down, then you can actually prevent these two stacks from stacking up and really try to avoid that getting groggy, because that's what's going to happen when you get hit a couple times by this, right? The boss is going to gain Perdition at stack when dealing damage with Colossal Lightning, and the boss casts Colossal Wrath, a powerful skill which Perdition reaches max stacks. If there is a monster from a previous summoning still exists, the boss casts Colossal Roar, and Colossal Roar causes all fighters to fall in the groggy state. So actually, you need to make sure that all the summoned fighters that the boss has are defeated, so you don't go into the groggy state. And then, of course, the same old, where all our fighters cannot use their finisher skills, and so on. And then, of course, if you have the Aegis Nuts leveled up on specific fighters, they're not going to get as groggy. None of this has really changed. It's really the boss that is different. Now, I haven't showed you guys the score because it's actually pretty simple if you got, specific characters. If you have Mature on this thing, Mature is freaking insane in this thing. She is very, very strong, guys. Ash is actually really good too because he's a green. I haven't used Vice as a damage dealer. I'm really using her more as a support in the first run. Really, really Vice and Ash, I'm really using as just side damage dealers after the first phase against this boss, because the first phase against boss, yellow had the advantage, which Lady Guinness does have. But you're just going to find she isn't going to do a whole lot of damage. But whenever the boss goes into his second phase and the green have an advantage against him, you'll actually notice that if you use Lady Guinness and use her Limitless, that these guys will actually do a bunch of damage, because with Limitless, you can still delay the timer. You know, characters like Leona, Lady Guinness, you know, Haramaru, and so on, right? These characters are just really good for this. So they still prove to be fairly relevant in here, which is actually really good. And I want to show it off a little bit. Now, when it comes to the rewards, guys, you need 11,000 points. You're going to get 225 points every single day. And this is going to last for 14 days, okay, in total. So if you're able to get, you need to get down to the 4.8 million threshold each week. This is going to reset the next week, and all these rewards do add up with each other. So if you're able to get around 600, I think 685,000, somewhere give or take in there, if you're getting 700,000 a day, you should be able to get that 11,000 points, and you should be able to get those rewards if my math is correct. And honestly, guys, if that's all you got to get, it's really not that bad. But I can tell you guys that you're probably going to need an A5 character. It's just, I don't think there's really, I don't know I don't know how you're going to be able to get any better than that, but maybe you could, because you really don't need a super high score. I mean, but if you have like these kinds of characters, if you have like mature guys, I don't even think mature needs to be A5, to be perfectly honest with you. But if she is, she's going to do that spin attack, and that just does tons and tons of damage. But I really don't think she needs to be A5. In fact, I'm pretty sure you're going to get the rewards out of her, even if she's at a lower level A3, maybe even less. And if you have Psyche, I think the same thing with him. Like if he's just A2, A3, you're probably going to get the score. Now, when it comes to the card sets, guys, like Lady Guinness, I'm just using, her set, right? I'm just using her set that we got before on her. She has max imprint stones, what so have you. But really, I'm just going to be using Vice. I just got this set here to increase target damage received on her, and then just the regular build aside from that, right? I'm just kind of letting her just do her damage. I mean, if I had another card set for her, I would just equip that. Ash, I'm just using the card set that came in his current banner, and I'm just letting him play on auto. And then we go down to mature. I'm using her card set that was actually meant for her, and I'm using these two option cards on her. And you guys can see the imprint stones. She doesn't even have max stones on her, but she is an A6 character, right? In fact, I could actually take her to A7 right now if I wanted to, but I just went ahead and left her at A6 because just to show you guys, she really is nuts in this. If she's on this second team, guys, she will do insanity as far as damage. I don't even think you need supports, especially if she's an A5. But if you have Shizuru, she's going to be a really good support. Not the best per se, but she's going to be a really good support for mature, because mature does have some built-in blast skills in her kit. She does have some blast skills in her kit. That third skill is blast, and I mean, that's really where it's at when it comes to this character. And then we have Maki. Maki, I'm just really mainly kind of using as support on the side. Just got a solid red team down here to get it done. This is a team that I opted to go with because of the characters that I have. I mean, if you guys have Akira on the first team, with a couple UE characters, might do really well. If you can use him and stall and kind of stay away from the center of the screen and stay away from the lightning that's coming down from this boss, then you might be able to get it done, guys. Because if you're using EX characters in here and they're taking damage from that lightning, they're just going to die. They're going to take a lot of damage. Their immunity cores seem to work in here, but they will take a lot of damage. So if you stay away from the center of the screen, again, on the far left or the far right, you can avoid dying. And if you can keep your characters alive and you're using maybe some of these UE characters, maybe you can get it done. So let me show you guys the run that I was able to do with this team. So I'm going to bring it up for you guys right now. And what you're going to see, guys, is that Lady Guinness, right? I mean, granted, I am using two other UE characters on the team. But, and by the way, you could put Shizuru on this first team, like regular SS Shizuru. EX Shizuru, and man, you'll get it done, guys. A lot of extra blast damage. Like, you could put her on the first team. I've seen another YouTuber actually get about 10 million with Lady Guinness on the first team using Ash, using UE Ash, using Lady Guinness, and using Shizuru, which was Draxon. Shout out to Draxon. Freaking insane video, guys. But what you do with Lady Guinness is you just start off in the very beginning and you're really just running through her skills. You want to get that limitless off. This is if she's at A5 and you want to use the limits as much as possible. Now you see what I'm doing? I'm kind of standing to the side and I want to make sure that I go in my 3PG because there is times where this boss can take away your PG. You need to stay away from that lightning. You do not want to get hit by that crap. Okay? You just want to stay away from it as much as possible. Right? So you'll notice that I'll actually go to the side and I'll stay away from the center of the screen so that way I don't take damage. Now, whenever you see, oh boy, he takes his little helmet off and then he does his little arm out, that's when he shoots the lightning down. That's where you want to avoid taking any kind of damage. Always remain to the side, right? Right now, unfortunately, we did get a little groggy there, right? But I got some nuts on old Lady Guinness, and I'm able to plow in some damage. Now, right now, guys, we have 710 million, right? That's enough to get that 11,000 point score over the 14-day duration and get the EX generic memory along with those 100 shards to change the memory to whatever color we want. She can do this on her own, guys. She probably could get the score even without the UE characters, but I mean, Bison Ash, whenever this boss changes his color, Bison Ash really do make a big difference as far as your damage. You could even use Ash on his own and probably Bison on her own and just use them as damage dealers, maybe use a couple other UE characters. You could try that as well on your first team. But I mean, look at the score, guys. Like, I mean, you can see the boss change to a yellow, so now green have the advantage. And now this is where Ash and Vice do a lot of damage. And because of Limitless, I can just sit there and use my default on Lady Guinness over and over and over. I'm in an iframe, I'm stalling the timer. Ash and Vice are doing a whole lot more damage. I'm just able to rack up quite a bit of damage because of this. And like I said, guys, like you'd be able to do even better than this with, than what I'm doing if you have her at A5. You can. I just didn't want to play this 20 million times, guys. I just kind of did it one time and kind of be done with it, right? But when you're doing this as default, you're stalling that timer. You're not, letting that timer. Now look at this. We're down to 0, 0, 0 on the timer, and we're just hitting our default over and over and over, and we're able to rack a little damage, and then we switch to the next characters. Now, we're here when we have mature, we're going to go straight into the 3PG, all right? So we're going to do the 3PG, and afterwards, we're going to start running through her skills. Now, I don't try to build up her Awaken skill, guys. I don't try to build up that out, or I'm sorry, her Phantom UE skill. All I do is I hit the Awaken skill, hit her UE skill afterwards, and I start just running through and using that third skill. And you'll notice that third skill will start doing some damage, especially now because the boss is a green. Red will have the advantage, and this is why you want really red on your last team, and you want mature on the second team, right? I got an entire red team, so that way they take a lot less damage on the second team so they can stay alive and hopefully get it done, right? And having Shizuru on his team is pretty awesome. Now you see that little meter, that little marker that's above Shizuru. When that thing gets full, that's whenever the lightning is going to strike down, and that's whenever we can get groggy if the bosses or the opponents aren't deleted off the screen, if we don't kill all of them, right? And whenever that does show up, you can always guard afterwards too, so you can avoid the lightning. But look at the damage she does, guys. Look at the damage that Mature is racking up. She really builds it up insanely well. That third skill is just nuts in this thing. I mean, and like like the other YouTuber Draxon, guys, he got like 50 billion with almost pretty much the same team that I'm using, right? Which is insane. So if you have this girl, like, look at this. If I would have built, maybe if I'd have built up 3 bars, I might do another run. I would do more damage, like 3 bars of the Phantom State, right? But you can see, I mean, we're up to 13 billion, guys. We're doing insanity. 13.3 billion, which is an insane score, right? It's really, really good, and it's way more than enough to get it done. Like, that kind of damage is insane, right? So, I mean, if you have Mature and you have her at A5, you will absolutely destroy this. Now, again, guys, if you don't have Mature or you don't have characters that can't get it done, I wouldn't fret over it. I honestly would not worry about it because these rewards are average at best in this carnival. They're really not good enough to really let yourself get frustrated over or get, angry about, because they're really not that great. They're really not that great of rewards. And if Netmarble really wants us to A5 characters just so we can get certain rewards out of these game modes, I know we can use them in the plug-and plan and so on, right? But it would really be a little bit extra incentive to give us a little bit better rewards in this. And I really think what they need to do if they're going to be putting these EX memories in here is giving us, letting us take our EX characters to a higher level, right? Letting us level them up to, A8, A9. I've talked about this before instead of just A7. So that way we can use them throughout the game. People wouldn't be as upset because a lot of people still got EX characters and they could level them up, which would make these memories a whole lot more relevant and make these rewards a whole lot more enticing. But hopefully this will help somebody out there as far as, doing the aegis challenge. So guys, let me know how y'all doing in the game. Let me know what you think about the new aegis challenge. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GT plus 7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.